Okay, well, good Friday morning, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is September 13th, 2024, 6:57 a.m. Yes, it is Friday the 13th, and you are watching the Takeoff. My name is Alex, and we are going to jump into week two of the NFL season, which started last night in South Florida down in Miami, where the Buffalo Bills played the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football, and it was no contest. 31-10 was the final score. Buffalo goes to 2-0. Miami drops to 1-1. Big story here is Tua Tagovailoa, whatever the hell you say his last name. I can never say his name. I just call him Tua, like most people. Left the game in the third quarter with a concussion. We do know that he's been prone to concussions in the past. He's had concussions in the past. So we're hoping not only for the team's sake, but for his health wise, that it is a mild concussion and that he can recuperate quickly and not have any long term effects from this. Last night, before the game started, I text my buddies. I text my group chat, my cousins, and I say, who do we root for tonight? And right off the bat, my cousin Mikey says he roots for Buffalo. Miami scares me, more than Buffalo. And in the past few years, yes, Miami has scared me more. I know last year the Miami Dolphins were no competition, or I should say we were no competition for them, as they walked over us in two games. Buffalo, we had some success. We went 1-1 the year before. Last year we beat them on week one, then lost to them in Buffalo later on in the season. So we've had some success with Buffalo, but there was no contest. The Buffalo Bills defense was all over Tua prior to the concussion. He left the game in the third quarter, obviously, and Skylar Thompson came in and couldn't really move the ball at all. But I believe he threw three interceptions. Two of them were for pick sixes, or at least one went for pick six. One got them down to like the 1 yard line. Josh Allen moved the ball when he had to, and there was really, it really wasn't a game. It was 7-7 at one point, and then that's all he wrote. As the Bills put up 24 points on top of that, and the Dolphins only could add 3. So as we go into Sunday, the Jets, AFC East rivals, Buffalo will be 2-0, Miami be 1-1, and obviously we're going to see what New England does. But this is a huge game, and the game that the Jets, even before last Monday, I said will win. They got to beat the Titans in Tennessee. The Titans are not that great of a team. The Jet defense, who were the weakest link on the field last week, should have success this week against the Titans offense. And the Jet offense, now in week two, had a few plays together last week in real time, should be able to build off that. A lot of people talking about this game that passed on Monday. The Jets got blown out. Yeah, the Jets did get blown out, but you know what? The Jet offense did score 3 touchdowns. There weren't many games in the past 2 seasons where the Jets scored 3 touchdowns on offense. So I'll take that as a positive. Yes, one did come in garbage time with Tyrod Taylor, but still, they put the ball in the end zone. Lazard caught 2 of them. And then Breece Hall, of course, had the opener this year. So the outlook for this weekend is it a must-win in week two? It's probably very close to being a must-win because you do not want to go 0-2, on the record, on the season. You don't want to go 0-2 in the AFC because this will be a second divisional or second conference team as you played a divisional team. You didn't play a divisional team last week. So you'll have this and you'll have New England next week. So you have 2 AFC teams coming up. You want to get to at least 1-1, or you have to get to at least 1-1 before you play New England at the home opener. And so around the sports talk this week with the Jets, a lot of it was disappointment of the defense, how Salah has been outcoached, and also you sprinkle in the Hassan Reddick situation, and did this humble the team? And I'll say this again: how do you humble a team who's not had success in 13 seasons? From 2010 2011 season, 2011 being the last time, January of 11 being the last time they played a playoff game, to 2015 when it was the last time they played a game which was win or go home, and obviously they lost to Buffalo and went home. How do you humble a team like that? It's more the media, the fans, maybe the organization, front offices or back offices, whoever does marketing, Georgia, or marketing, guru, you tell me. Every team does a hype video. Every team gives promises and shows the positive outlook. You'll never see a team go, oh, we were 2-14 or 2-15 last year. This year we're looking to go, 4-13. No, every year the team is going to put their best. I don't want to say propaganda, but their best marketing, to push, how the team is going to be successful, who they brought in, what coaches there, what have you. Aaron Rodgers was here last year, and that was the selling point. That's where, hey, we got this defense, we got Garrett Wilson, we got Brees Hall, now we have Aaron Rodgers, and it's more than that. This team has put together an effort on all three sides of the ball. Of course, this year, special teams are a little different with the kickoffs, but I'll go back to Saleh being the weakest link on this team, and he was outcoached. And listening to, and reading on social media and listening to the sports talk, all they spoke about is how Shanahan outcoached him, and the team was humbled, and we were not humbled. I think the team realized or saw, hey, this is where we want to be. And Aaron Rodgers said that. Aaron Rodgers, for the reasons other than being on the field, is the way he changes himself, or the way he acts in front of the team and in front of the cameras, in front of the media. He said, first he said, we have to do better. I had a lot of throws out there, a lot of plays out there like that back. Then, I don't know if it was the same press conference or it was the next day, he said, they're a championship caliber team. That's where we want to be. Hopefully we see them again. Tongue in cheek. When would you see them again? And then, lastly, he said something to the point of, if you want to, jump off the bandwagon or whatever, jump off. But, if you jump off now, don't jump back on when the team is doing good or doing, or winning or whatever, how he said. I'm paraphrasing. And you have Chris Mandog Russo, who, listen, I used to listen to his radio show here on WFAN many years ago when it was Mike and Mike. I never really followed him to his other stations or his Sirius channel or whatever it is. But he comes out and says something like, this is, Aaron Rodgers has been here for a cup of coffee and he's telling Jet fans how to act. And basically say, Aaron, keep your mouth shut. You haven't been here long enough. But, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to use some analogies, and maybe it's a little outlandish or whatever, but first of all, in addition to the skills he brings on the field, you want that leadership that Aaron Rodgers has. You want him to control the huddle. Zach Wilson never controlled the huddle. I don't think Sam Darnold ever controlled the huddle. Okay? Mark Sanchez never really controlled the huddle. Josh McCown, the journeyman who went all over the place, Fitzpatrick, they probably controlled the huddle. Testaverde probably controlled the huddle. Pennington, I believe, controlled the huddle. We haven't had a quarterback to control the huddle or led his, or was a leader on his offense until now with success. None of those quarterbacks have any success. Okay? Long-term success, big game success. So they have Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, two-time MVP. That's why you brought him in. You didn't bring him in to sell tickets because, let's be honest, tickets are sold. Okay? 90% of those tickets are sold on a season-by-season basis. You bring him in for marketing, okay, but you bring him in to win. And part of his winning is bringing a culture in here. Remember Rex? Rex's mouth changed the culture here. And for 2 or 3 years, it was for the better. Jet fans realized, hey, Rex is saying what I feel. You're not going to come here. Bill Belichick, I don't care what you did. Tom Brady, I don't care what you did. We're going to beat you. And they did. For the most part, the first two seasons, they went, I believe, 1-1, 2-1, 2-1. So they went 3-2 over the first two seasons. And then Rex beat them a few times. And they also, they beat them in the playoffs. So that's why you bring Aaron Rodgers here. And that message was not just towards bandwagon fans. That was towards his team. Hey, we lost. We lost to a great team. We lost to a team who we want to be. We want their success. You know what? Let's see if we can play them again this year. Okay? That goes in the head. Hey, if you don't believe us now, if you don't want to be with us now, get off the wagon. Don't hit yourself back on our wagon, or don't jump back on the wagon when we're doing well. Hey, you want to say it's back to that relaxed thing he said in Green Bay a few years ago. You can say that. But you know what? It worked. So for Mad Dog to do that, did you need something to fill your show? Because, and again, this may be some outlandish analogies, but that's what leaders do. I follow local sports, and a lot of it is Yankees, Rangers, and the Jets are my team. When the Rangers brought in Mark Messier, they gave Messier basically free range of what he wanted to do. And you saw that because when Messier came in, first of all, that first year, they got knocked out of the playoffs early. I believe the second year, they don't make the playoffs, and he's being booed. And then all of a sudden, Messier, goes to the front office as a new coach. Messier, I remember saying, or hearing a story, I think it was from Brian Leach, where he's in the locker room, the Ranger locker room, and there's a jersey on the floor. And Messier picks up the jersey and said, hey, you treat your jersey with respect. This is our name across the jersey. You have pride. This is like the flag. You don't make this touch the floor. And then, you have your general manager, but when the Rangers won the Cup that year, there were 5 or 6 Edmonton Oilers on that team that Messier played with. So he wasn't just brought in to be the captain. He wasn't brought in to be, first line center. He was brought in because of his history, his accomplishments, his skill, and his leadership. And that's why Aaron Rodgers is here. And he's only going to be here a short period. So you know what? Let him do it. If he goes out there, for the next 2 or 3 games and throws 3 picks and 0 touchdowns and looks terrible, then okay. But he's kind of just reining in the fans, reining in his team and saying, hey, we went out Monday Night Football. We haven't played all season together. We haven't played in 2 seasons. We're okay. Don't panic. This is not the team of years before, where if you go to an 0-1 hole, it's going to be a problem. Again, Mad Dog, you had to fill something. You had to, twist the screws a little bit. Okay, whatever you want to do. Let's get back to the team. Hassan Riddick still has not come to an agreement with the team, nor has the team bowed down to what Riddick wants. Watching, again, the coverages, somebody said, now Woody Johnson has to open up his checkbook. Woody Johnson has no problem opening up his checkbook. He showed that in the past. But let's not be taken advantage of. This is a business, and both sides are accountable for this. I think the Jets went more on the trusting side and maybe on a handshake took this man's word or this man's agent's word and said, you know what? He said he'll come here. He says we'll work on a deal. And he hasn't been here. He hasn't lifted a weight. He hasn't broken a sweat. Okay, so Riddick is sitting back saying, I'm going to, wait it out. Well, this week will be $800,000 more out of his pocket. It'll be game 2 that he missed. If he misses 6 games, he is still property of the New York Jets. He cannot become a free agent. But is he hoping that the defense falters or fails or needs him so the Jets can basically bend over? I don't know. I'm not sure. But this was something that should have been hammered out 3 months ago. And if you're telling me that they had a deal in place or they had an agreement, I can't blame the Jets. Okay, if you're telling me that they said we'll see what happens, then yes, that's not the way you do business. But if a man gives his word, gives a handshake, gives a verbal agreement, then be a man. So Sunday we go to Tennessee, game 2. Early weather reports that I heard they were speaking about in other shows are thunderstorms, rain throughout the day, on and off, and that I believe because there's a hurricane that made landfall, and the remnants of the hurricane should be going up there. So, listen, Tennessee has grass. It will be a sloppy, muddy mess, but does that really affect the offense? Now, yeah, of course, in rainy weather, in slick weather, muddy weather, you're gonna be opt for a little bit more caution. You're gonna run the ball more. So Brees Hall, offensive line, grab your helmets, grab your lunch pails, go to work. Uh, you know, Rodgers played in Green Bay where maybe it wasn't torrential rain, but he did have inclement weather. He did have natural grass as a field, so he is used to playing on natural grass. He's used to playing in inclement weather. Green Bay is probably more the cold and the snow as you get later on into the season, but at this point of his career, he's okay with it. The Jets should beat this team on all 3 sides of the game, even the coaching side, so 4 sides. There's no excuse not to go out there and beat this team. Now, people are saying, and when I say people, I say the experts, I say callers that call in to these shows, what is a successful win? Well, first of all, a win is a win. Okay? You ask anybody, a win is a win. In the NFL, a win is a win. You take it any way you can. But if we go out there, or if the team goes out there and they win 6-0 because of the weather, hey, listen, they took the elements, they won, they used a strategy. If they go out there and they win 31-28, hey, that offense really looked good. They put the ball up. But then you look at how the defense did. How did the defense give up 28 points? You want to see a win, but you want to see progression. You want to see your downfalls. You want to see your positives. You want to see your negatives. So, listen, go out there and get the win. Get to 1-1. Beat an AFC team. Get out of there healthy. Okay, but also show me you can get to the quarterback. Also show me, you're going to convert on 3rd down. Also show me you're not going to have any turnovers. And then that'll be a step forward. I don't want to say this is a lock, but the Jets on paper, the Jets talent-wise, should beat this team. The Titans lost just like the Jets lost, but the Titans did not look good. I don't mean look good losing, but they did not look good at all. The Titans, lost to the Bears last week in Chicago. And yes, I mean the shoe coming down was the shovel pass as the Titan quarterback is being sacked, being tossed, and the Chicago defense is picking off and bringing it in for a touchdown. But also you got to remember the Chicago offense had Caleb Williams starting his first ever game, first round pick, and just thrown out there, and he really wasn't a big factor in the game. He did not look great, but you still lost to this rookie quarterback because of your quarterback. So the Jet defense, if they are half of what they're supposed to be, should go out and win this game. What I want to see is, like I said, and it all goes back to the conditions of the game, but I want to see time of possession change. It can't be a 38-minute time of possession for your opponent. Okay? I want to see field position. Okay, the Jets didn't really have great field position at all. I want to see sustainable drives, which goes back to time of possession. Convert on third downs. There was that one drive, I think it was the third drive the Jets had the ball. They converted 3 or 4 third downs. All to Garrett Wilson. I want to see that. Mike Williams, get him more into the game. I know he's coming off a big injury, but I do also know that, you sprinkle him in. Now you get him in there a little bit more. If not, hey, Devontae Adams. Let's see what they want for him. Is he ready to come over here? Are the Raiders ready to give him up? Jet defense. Get off the field on third down. Get to the quarterback. If you can't sack him, knock him down. Get there. Just get there. Disrupt his passing and coaching. Okay? Have a game plan and then adjust when needed or if needed. And that, to me, are the keys to this week. And that could be the keys every week. But this is a team that is ready to pounce on a team that is, and I'm going to say it, less talented than the Jets. And the Jets need to do this. The Jets need to step up and come out and play a full 60-minute game where in the fourth quarter, there's no doubt, hey, we're up by X amount of points. There's no doubt here. We should be able to finish off this game. Get to 1-1. Don't panic. Get to 1-1. It's never easy. So, my picks. So, I had to read my picks. So, I'm gonna put my glasses on now. My picks for this week. First one off the bat, you have the Dallas Cowboys coming home. They are 1-0, facing the Saints. They are giving the Saints 6.5 points. Dallas is at home. Like I said, I picked Dallas to win this game outright, and I think they cover the 6.5. Jacksonville at home again. Of course, they lost last week to Miami. They are playing Cleveland. Cleveland has a good defense, but no, Cleveland is in a little bit of turmoil with Deshaun Watson again. He just seems to be the subject of many problems where he goes. So Jacksonville is giving 3 to Cleveland in Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville not only to win the game, but to cover that spread as well. And then the last game, before I pick the Jet game, the Chiefs giving 5.5 to Cincinnati in Kansas City. This, excuse me, it's always a big game. Big rival, big postseason rival. Cincinnati is just, going in different directions with their receivers and their injuries and Burrow. And Kansas City at home is always a tough game. Second game in a row they'll be home. They'll have 10 days rest since they played last Thursday. And I think Kansas City wins this handily at 5.5 points. They're giving Cincinnati will be covered as well. So I like the 3 favorites covering. And then you have our Jets at Tennessee. The Jets are favorites by 3.5 points. I think the Jets win this game. I think they cover the 3.5 points also. I'm going to take a Jet win regardless of how they win, or if they win by 1 or win by 10. It doesn't matter as long as you get the W, but I think they beat them by a touchdown or more, between 7 and 9 points. So there you go. You have Dallas minus 6.5 over New Orleans. You have Jacksonville minus 3 over Cleveland. You have Kansas City minus 5.5 over Cincinnati, and you have the Jets minus 3.5 over Tennessee. And the Jets are the only road team that I'm picking in this, and they are the only road team I should say I have winning within the 4 games that I picked. So here we have it. It is Friday. No Friday night game tonight. I really wasn't a fan of it. So about 48 hours from now, and I hate to do that. I say that 48 hours, my wife goes, but the weekend's over then. But 48 hours, maybe 52 hours from now, or 53 hours from now, you'll have games on. I think there are 10 1 o'clock games and like 3 4 o'clock games. You have your Sunday night and your Monday night game. And that's how quickly it goes. You're in week 2 already. You're in the third week of September coming up, and the weather already started changing here a little bit. The morning's a little bit more brisk, but there we go. So again, you're watching The Takeoff. My name is Alex. We will have a reaction video either Sunday evening or Monday morning, and we will follow and cover all the games that were played up until that point. You can follow us, and I ask you to please subscribe. We don't do this for money. We do this just as fans, a labor of love, as we call it. My buddy calls it, and listen to the video. Email us at thejetstakeoff@gmail.com. Email us your thoughts, email us pictures, email us video, whatever you'd like that we can put in the video, of course, at your discretion. Go to Twitter, at the Jets Takeoff, our Twitter handle. Look for our post, reply to our post. We'd love to hear from you as Jet fans, as NFL fans. We want the input. We don't want to just be, just us. We want the input. We want the critique as well. We'll take it, but make it meaningful to the video. Don't just be mean. Okay. We are on TikTok as we're working on that. We are on Instagram at thejetstakeoff.com, or I should say at the New York Jets Takeoff on Instagram. Have a great Friday. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed week, whichever you say it. Be safe. Be healthy. And we'll see you on Monday.